Hello again. This is my second part of my series, my new series, 77 questions, witchy questions. My dog is making all kinds of noise. Alright, so continuing on with the questions, we have the next one is, what are your feelings on raising kids in the craft? I actually think very highly of this, considering I was raised as a Wiccan, as a witch. So it all definitely depends on how you do it. Don't be like all those Christian parents that are like, oh, well, this is what you should know, and that's it. You can't go to any other religion when you're old enough. No, you should totally have them go to different churches, learn things, so when they're old enough to understand, they can choose whether or not they still want to be Wiccan or pagan or a witch. It's not up to the parents to make them choose. They have to choose on their own, and that's why I think that it's a good idea to raise kids Wiccan, but yet let them choose when they get old enough. Okay, the next one is, if you were a goddess or a god, who would you be? I don't know. Bost? I don't really have an idea on that. Next one is, do you use astrology in your path? No, I do not. I wouldn't even begin to know how to use it. And I don't have a clue of what half of that crap means anyway, so I don't know. Next one is, what ways? Again, I have no idea how to use astrology. I've never worked with it in my life. I wouldn't be opposed to learning it, but at this present point in my life, I have not actually worked with it or learned how to work with it. Okay, next one is, what, if any ways, could you practice dark magic and still respect the beliefs of Wicca? Okay, so essentially he's asking me whether or not I will practice dark magic and respect the beliefs of Wicca. No, I do not do dark magic. Like I mentioned earlier in a previous video, I do not believe in self-gain, spells using for that. I do not believe in hurting people. I don't believe in this and that, blah, blah, blah. So, I'm a light witch. If I have to say that I am something, I am a light witch. A white witch, for lack of a better term. However, even though I say that, that's not really what I believe. It's just something to make people comfortable and for them to understand what I'm talking about. Every person has black and white in them, whether it be evil or good, whatever. That's what I believe in. It balances itself out. You do not choose to do one or the other. It is essentially what you do with your life that makes you good or bad. Murderer, that would be bad, obviously. Dark magic, as in hurting people, would be bad. I would not be able to live up to my full potential as a Wiccan if I did things like that, or hurt people, or any of that. I do not believe that there is such thing as just dark magic. I believe it is balance in life. I believe everything is balanced. Alright, next is, do you have any witches in your family? I used to. When I said that I was raised Wiccan, my mother was Wiccan, a witch. She raised me and my sister as one. But back in 2002, 2003 maybe, they converted to Christianity, so essentially I have no witches in my family anymore. But at the time, when I was growing up, yes, I did. I do not now, but in the past I have. Okay, next one is what item can you not witch without? That's a weird question. I don't know where you came up with that, but whatever, dude. What can I not witch without? Obviously, that'd have to be my Book of Shadows. If I did not have that Book of Shadows, I would be screwed because I can't memorize to save my life. So, yeah. Next one is, what is your favorite Sabbath? Samhain. Halloween. Self-explanatory. I'm a night person. I love violence. Granted, I don't do violence, but I love to watch it on television and on movies. Next one is, have you ever had a YouTube burnout? I don't even know what that means. Like, if someone can explain that to me in like a post or something, please tell me, because I have not a clue what that means. Next one is, what is your favorite witchy shop? That's kind of iffy. Most of my witchy shops are online. So, let's see. There's the Wiccan Way, the 13 Moons, and I can't remember the other ones. Those are what I buy from. Those are the shops that I go to. Next is, in buying items, do they choose you or vice versa? Again, I mentioned in our earlier video that I do not buy my own stuff for my altar. If I happen to find it, it means they've chosen me and I was meant to find it. That's about all I have to tell you on that one. Alright, next is, do you organize your herbs or ingredients? Excuse me. Yes, I do. I organize them based on how much I use them. So if I don't use them very much, they usually go in the back, and the ones that I do use a lot of go up front. Next is, do you have interest in other deities that I don't work with at this present time? Yes. I would love to start working with Odin and Freya and basically any of the Norse gods. That's what I'd want to start working with because they are very interesting and I just haven't started yet. Let's see. Do I have a favorite time to do spell work? No, I do not. I do spell work when I please and when it pleases me. However, if I'm feeling bad for that day or I'm having a bout of depression, which I have very often, considering I'm very depressed, I'm on medication for it. If I have any of those problems for that day or that week, I will go months without doing any spells because I believe that if you're not feeling right, your energy will backfire, for lack of a better term. It'll turn your spells, it'll backfire. Alright. Next is, are you a solitary or do you work with a coven? I have not worked with a coven in my life. I'm a solitary witch. I'm eclectic. I follow many paths. Would I work with a coven? Yes, I would work with a coven. I don't know when I'd be able to do it though. I mean, I'm trying to find a coven, but it's very hard to find a coven. Okay, next one is, if you could pick a path that fits well with what I do, what would it be? Again, I don't know, considering I follow so many paths anyway, Egyptian, Celtic, Norse in some cases. There's no specific coven or path for that. I would basically have to make my own. Next is, what was the most creative spell you have ever done? A love spell. And this will be answered in the later question. What do you prefer for divination? I prefer runes, and that's it. Um, what are some ways that you keep yourself grounded? Okay, keeping myself grounded, I will sit down on the floor or I will sit in a chair and I will imagine two tubes going down into the ground. One will be hollow and the other will be solid. One keeps you grounded and the other pushes all negative energies or excess energy back into the planet. Um, that's how I keep myself grounded, and that's how I keep myself from being too depressed or having too much energy, considering I'm somewhat of an empath. I have to do that. Okay, next is, have you ever had a spell go horribly wrong? Okay, this one's go back to the one that I said would answer this. A love spell. Yes, I have had it backfire. Um, there's one boyfriend in my past that I did a love spell for, and it went horribly, horribly wrong. Um, not into the fact that he was a stalker or anything. No, he didn't go that bad, but he was bad. He had issues, like severe issues. And that's what backfired. I ended up with this guy and realized what had happened, and when by the time that I had corrected it, it was too late. I was already with him, and I had to remedy the problem by breaking up with him. Okay, next one is, what are your views on initiation rituals? I don't agree with them. That's just all there is to it. I do not agree with it. I believe that if, to me, Wiccan is a lovely path. You shouldn't have to be initiated into anything. You shouldn't have to do this and that. You shouldn't have to follow certain rules to pray to a certain god or to be in a certain coven. I believe that if you do everything that your gods want you to, then you are in the right place. And that's all that should matter. Next one is, have you ever had full contact with your deity? Define full contact. Alright. To me, full contact would be Bost. I saw a cat in my dream that spoke to me. I don't know if that's really full contact or not. So, who knows? It wasn't even in English, so who knows, people? Next one is, what about you is unwitchy? I don't know how to answer that. I catch myself thinking about Christian things like I wasn't raised Christian, but I still have the Christian background because my mother decided that I needed to learn for myself as to what I wanted to believe in. And because of that, I have certain Christian values that I go by. Like, don't commit murder, don't steal, don't like anything. I do not go fully with the Ten Commandments, but there are some in the Ten Commandments that I will follow for the rest of my life. I have taken them and put them into my own path. That doesn't mean that I'm practicing Christianity, 'cause that's not what that means at all. It just means that I am essentially stealing from a different religion, for lack of a better word. Um, I currently have a boyfriend right now who believes in being a warrior. I don't agree with that either. While I like to watch violence and stuff, I do not believe that it is always necessary to be violent. I believe in only protecting what is yours if you have to. And maybe that's what they are. I have no idea. I'll have to ask him later at a date, or maybe have him do a video with me. Okay, next one is, for the dating witch. How do you tell a new love interest that you are a witch? Okay, I'm not dating anymore. I mean, I already have a date now, like a guy, but I used to do that, and I just used to be blunt about it. The moment we'd start talking, I'd be like, "Well, I'm Wiccan. I'm a witch. If you have a and I'd tell him what it is and tell him that if he had a problem with it, to tell me now, and that would end our conversation right there, because I was not going to change for any guy. Wasn't going to change at all. Okay, next one is, who is a past witch that has inspired you, famous or not? Silver Ravenwolf, S.J. Tucker, I don't remember. Scott Cunningham, and there's another, Raymond Buckland. Those are the people that have inspired me, that make me want to be open about what I believe in, because they were brave enough to write books. They were brave enough to start writing songs about what they believed in, and it gave me at least a little bit of hope that maybe it was okay for me to do that as well. Um, so that's basically part 2 of this video, guys. So please subscribe. Tell me if you liked it. And yeah, so blessed be, love, and light, and I will see you guys next time when I actually make the 3rd video.